Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Geek Speak Show's 2012 Year-End Geek Awards. The 2012 Year-End Geek Awards are powered by Collider.com, GeekTyrant.com, RamaScreen.com, and MightyVille.com. This is the best of geek culture, movies, TV, comic books, plus the Geek Speak Show's Lifetime Achievement Award and the 2012 Geek Icon.
God bless the geek.
Here we go with the 2012 Year-End Geek Awards.
We're all in our tuxes and Rachel is in her, what do you call that? The Padme Amidala dress, or what do you call that?
Yes, it's the Padme Lake dress.
With wearing the Django helmet on top, of course. So welcome to the 2012 Year-End Geek Awards. All you regulars know that we've tried doing this before. Weren't really organized with it. The first year we just sort of did literally whatever. Last year we did a couple of times and it was also whatever. So I decided all the great things.
Before you didn't have me.
That's right. All the good things that we had this year. I said, you know what? Let's make this official. Hopefully it'll turn into an annual event. Depends on how the next hour goes. So we're going to call it the Year-End Geek Awards. The only thing that will change is, obviously, the year, 2012 this year. So it's everything in TV, in comic books, in movies, of course. We won't do books because we have the book club. There's so many anyway that we can't just pick one. There's just too many. And they're in all kinds of genre. And there's, you guys hear the book club. So we have that. That'll come back next year again when we come back next year. But we will talk. Believe it or not, there is only one really, really good movie. Although Jay didn't agree with that. I kept saying it a couple of months ago when I first talked about this. We shouldn't even do this because it's just give everything to the Avengers now and Joss Whedon and everybody else. Why even bother? Everybody just go home. Here you go, Joss and Marvel and everybody.
Admit defeat, yeah.
Yeah. 2015, it'll be a different story because Avengers 2 is coming out. But there's also another little movie that'll be coming out finally that year too that Rachel and I are really excited about. Right? But
right.
Let's go back to 2012. We're gonna kick off. We're gonna do movies and all that stuff at the end because it's a whole big thing. Most of us here, again, we're not gonna get you guys involved except what you're doing right now, listening. We'll do it next year. Depends on how it goes. We'll probably even do video next year. But we're gonna have you guys vote and all that. This year we decided just because we're on our break and we don't really want to do too much work anyway. We're just gonna discuss it amongst ourselves. And we came up with the nominations, and depending on who voted for what, we got the winners from there. Everybody was pretty much on the same page when it came to movies, TV shows, comic books even. Where the most arguments, where the lightsaber battles began, especially with Rachel, was in two categories that we'll do later on, and that's the Geek Icon and the Lifetime Achievement Award. Lifetime Achievement, obvious what it is. Geek Icon, and that's for the person that contributed the most to geek culture this year. And honestly, when you guys hear who it is, I think you'll agree because there was only one person who really did a lot to contribute to geek. Even people that were not geek, have never picked up a comic book or known about Star Wars. Yeah, there's a few, believe it or not, know anything of this stuff. What this person did made even grandmas say, "Hey, let me take a look at this." So maybe you'll agree with that. Everything else, you may agree, you may not disagree, you might miss something. If you think we did, go ahead and send us an email. It's our names, Henry at the Geek Speak Show, Rachel at the Geek Speak Show. Send us an email and say, yeah, I totally agree with you, or you don't know what you're talking about. You're no geek. Whatever it is, we can take it. We have thick skin. Go ahead and send it out there. So let's get started with the Year-End Geek Awards. We'll start with what we do every Wednesday, besides recording the show for you guys, and that's New Comics Wednesday. We go to our comic shops and get the best titles, the new stuff, the graphic novels, whatever we want. So out of all that, what was the best in 2012? Let's find out. Shall we? Ready, Rachel?
Let's shall.
So we also got, by the way, for this, the nominees here, we got MightyVille.com, one of our content providers. We got them involved since they do comic books. Mark Arnold, who does the stories behind the stories, he got involved in this one too. And Jay, of course, because she commentates on comics every week. So I hope they know comics better than we do, most normal people do. So this is what they came up with, and the nominees for the best ongoing comic series. Their nominees are Saga, The Walking Dead, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 9, Batman from DC Comics, Fatal from Image, Captain America, Northlanders, and Swamp Thing from DC. So, let me rip the envelope. Where is it? Here's the envelope. You ready to read it, Rachel?
I'm ready.
Here, I'll rip it and hand it to you. Whoops, I think I ripped the winner. Here, put it. Here's the tape and the thing. So who did they pick for the best
All right, so
ongoing
this
series?
is the winner for the best ongoing series, The Walking Dead by Image, writer Robert Kirkman, and artist Tony Adler. Yay!
Gee, I'm shocked. And they reached their 100th episode of this year. There's a lot of other series that are pretty big, but The Walking Dead. And we're not talking the TV show here. Then just in case anybody just jumped in now, it's not the TV show. The Image comic series. It is one of the best series out there, and then I agree with that. Like I said, it wasn't that much of a debate on this one. Everybody said, "Yeah, we got to give it to The Walking Dead," although it's new. Moving on, let's go to, speaking of, the best new title. Saga's one of them. I'm sure that one's nominated in there. So what they came up with, they being the folks from Mightyville, Mark, and all our people here, they came up with Red Hood and the Outlaws from DC Comics, Earth 2 from DC, Saga, told you it was in there, Uncanny Avengers, Fatal, Hawkeye from Marvel, Massive from Dark Horse, and Valiant's Exo Manowar. So, let me rip the envelope for that one.
Alrighty.
Ooh, I did
So
it.
this is, you're ripping the names every time. This is the winner for Best New Title, and the winner is Saga from Image, writer Brian Vaughn, and artist Fiona Staples. Awesome.
Image keeps on turning out some great work. And yes, Saga is definitely one of those. From the minute I saw it, I've been hooked on that one. This one, if you remember when we had David Lee doing the comics commentary before Jay took over, David Lee has always... Well, he hates everything, but he really hated the crossover events. I hate the events. The summer is enough with the events. Marvel, stop it. There's some of you on Team David, and there's some of you like me who actually enjoy some of these events that happen. And I as a business person, I see it as a good business move because they're crossover events that make you buy other comic books and they expose you to new comics and new artists and writers. So,
Right.
for this year, the best events nominees were the New 52, continuing the New 52 from DC Comics, although some were canceled, but the continuation of the New 52, Marvel Now, their version of the New 52, Spider-Man, Before Watchmen from DC, Avengers vs. X-Men, or otherwise known as AVX, The Summer of Valiant from Valiant Comics, Death of the Family, I think Jay mentioned this not too long ago, Night of Owls, and Rot World, all of those from DC Comics. So...
How do you pick one of these? Man.
I would have given it. I mean, although you guys know me, I'm the Marvel guy, so I probably would have gone with AVX or one of those. But let's find out who he went with.
Okay.
Missed. Hold on. There we go. Okay, here you go.
I think you should let me start ripping them.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the winner for Best Event. And the winner is Before Watchmen from DC.
Which actually is kind of surprising to me. Not because it wasn't that good, but because it wasn't just one. Although most of these events, they are a lot of titles and they cross over, like I said. But Before Watchmen, it's kind of like what you and I discuss on the show. Sometimes you can't touch Star Wars, you can't redo Star Trek. Although JJ did that.
Well, it's the general rule, right?
Yeah, Watchmen is one of those comics that Alan Moore is always going to disagree anyway, no matter what happens. But the Watchmen is a book that you can't touch, you can't mess with. It is one of the best, most iconic graphic novels of the 80s. What they did what DC did with Before Watchmen, I really like because well, you guys have read it. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna give spoilers here. It makes you, some of the stories do make you see the actual Watchmen, the original Watchmen, a little bit differently now, and that's what a good prequel should do. It should make you look at things just a little bit differently. So Before Watchmen does that, and it's still going, it keeps on doing that. So congratulations to them. Now, the lifeblood of comic books, besides the artists.
There we go.
The writers. Best writers. Here's what we came up with. Scott Snyder for Batman Swamp Thing. Ed Brubaker for Fatal and Captain America. Jonathan Hickman from Fantastic Four, Manhattan Projects. Brian Wood for the massive Conan the Barbarian. Brian K. Vaughan for Saga. John Layman for Chew, Detective Comics. BMB, you guys might know him as Brian Michael Bendis, for Ultimate Spider-Man. JMS, I love how we have RDJs and all these initials, JGL. But J. Michael Straczynski for Before Watchmen. And again, like you said earlier, how do you pick from all of those? But we had to, so here's who we picked. You want to rip this one?
I do. My turn.
That's how it's done.
All right, so this is the winner for Best Writer. And the winner is Brian Vaughn for Saga.
I thought you were going to go with Brian Michael Bendis, buddy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it from the moment that I started reading that book, I got hooked. Great writing. The art is great, and I think I just gave away the next category, but Saga, well deserved. So let's go on to, again, the lifeblood of any comic book. The artists. The best artist, Fiona Staples for Saga. Francis Manapul for The Flash. Jay Lee, Before Watchmen, Ozymandias. David A.J., Hawkeye. Jim Lee for Justice League. Chris Samney, Daredevil and The Rocketeer. Juan Gardino for Black Sad. Joe Benitez, Lady Mechanica. Guillem March, Catwoman number 1 through 12. Kenneth Rocaford, Red Hood and Superman. And Sarah Pichelli for Ultimate Spider-Man. All good artists, by the way. They really, I gotta say, they really can't be a winner in this, but we do have to pick one, so let's see who it is. Yeah, let me see if I can do it like you. Oh, I did it. Okay, who's
all right. So this is the winner for Best Artist. And the winner is Sarah Pichelli for Ultimate Spider-Man.
And yes, I did have a little bit to do with that. But like I said, all of these artists, they're really, really good. Sarah's, and I think I mentioned it, we didn't have her on the show this year. She probably come on next year if we do more Ultimate stuff. But her art, especially when Miles Morales was introduced as a new Spider-Man, her art just has this look. First, it looks 3D, it looks three-dimensional, and you can actually see them moving. You see, I don't know if that describes it correctly, but you can see
the motion in the artwork, right?
Yeah, so that's why I like them. But again, writer and artist, all of them are great. You can't really pick one, but you kind of have to when you do an award show. So that's who we picked. And that's the comic book stuff. Now, let's take a little break. When we come back, we'll get into something else we like around here. Pizza. No, we'll get into TV shows. So we'll do that right after this.
The Geek Speak Show will be right back. The 2012 Year-End Geek Awards remembers those who left us in 2012. Bob Anderson, English fencer and actor, best known as Darth Vader's fight double in Star Wars.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Dick Tuffold, voice of Robbie the Robot from Lost in Space. Bill Hinzman, the original zombie from Night of the Living Dead. Comic book artist Mobius.
I guess but Dark Shadows was intimidated by the character in the sense, although it fit me perfectly. I didn't know that at the time, and I thought, oh, how do you play a vampire?
Actor Jonathan Frid, Barnabas Collins in the original Dark Shadows TV show. Author Maurice Sendak. Author Ray Bradbury. Richard D. Zanuck, film producer and former head of 20th Century Fox. Mel Stewart, director of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Comic book artist Joe Kubert. Special effects creator Carlo Rambaldi. Director Tony Scott.
And from the bottom of my heart, if I were John Coffey and I had to express what I feel for you right now, every light bulb in this place would explode.
Actor Michael Clark Duncan.
It is I, the Count, yes. They call me the Count because I love to count things.
Jerry Nelson, the voice of the Count on Sesame Street. Comic book artist Josh Metters. And two who reached the final frontier, Sally Ride and Neil Armstrong.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Thanks for the memories. The passion you showed in your work will stay with us forever. 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 Forever.
Hey, this is Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn, and one of the original founders of Image Comics, and you're listening to Geek Speak Show. Thanks for coming.
It's actually the 2012 Year-End Geek Awards. We're right in the middle of them. So, we did comics. Good guy to have there for comic books, Todd McFarlane. And Spawn, the Spawn movie's finally coming too, but that'll be soon. as soon as he sits down and writes the thing. So going on with, like I said, another thing that we like around here, no, not pizza, but like Rachel said during the break, it goes great with pizza. That's TV shows.
Yeah.
Our TV shows. Alpha, of course. You've said it many times during a TV talk segment that we do. You don't watch The Walk. I think you're the one person in the country who doesn't watch
The
Walking Dead. And all the talk that Joel and Jay and I do in here doesn't make you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna check this out, see what it's about, see what all the excitement's about."
I'm sorry. I know you guys are gonna hate me for it, but I just don't like the zombie stuff. Okay.
We can't possibly hate Rachel. How can we hate Rachel? So let's go on to TV. Again, everything is good, but we do have, since it's an award show, we do have to pick a winner, and here is who we all came up with it, not just the Mighty Bow people, but we all came up with this. And we'll start with the best actor. Again, Rachel and I were talking about this over the break. Why is it that actors and actresses are both called actors now? It's just a weird thing. I mean, all my life it's been actor, actress.
I don't know. I think it's trying not to differentiate too much, but whatever. We're going to go old school and go actor, actress.
Tomato, lightsaber, double-bladed. So we'll start with the best actor on TV. Here are the nominees. Yes, this one was for me. John Noble as Dr. Walter Bishop from Fringe. Andrew Lincoln from AMC's The Walking Dead. Norman Reedus from AMC's The Walking Dead. Benedict Cumberbatch, Sherlock Holmes, David Giuntoli from Grimm, Silas Weir-Mitchell from Grimm, Sasha Royce from Grimm. Yeah, it is that good. Sean Bean from Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, Kit Harington, Noah Wyle from Falling Skies, and Stephen Amell from Arrow. Those are the nominees for TV's Best Actor. And let me open the envelope here and give it to you.
All right. And the winner is Norman Reedus as Daryl Dixon on The Walking Dead.
Well, Jay's going to be happy for that one. She really wanted him to win. But I got to say, yes, I agree with that because he's, well, as we record this, we're about to get the mid-season finale, and I'm assuming we're probably going to finally get, and Rachel has no idea what I'm talking about, but we're probably going to finally get the meeting of the two brothers. And that should be explosive as well as everything else that goes on there. So, yes, he's made us really, really like Daryl as a character. Besides everybody else on there, it came pretty close. I almost wanted to give it to David Giuntoli because he's pretty good actually on Grimm. And you know, Silas Weir-Mitchell, Monroe. That's one of the reasons we like John Noble on Fringe. That's one of the reasons we watch Grimm, just to see what he's gonna do each week. So those are the best actors on TV, best actress on television. Here's who we came up with for nominees: Anna Torv from Fringe, Betsy Tulloch from Grimm, Lauren Cohen, The Walking Dead. AMC's The Walking Dead. Rachel Taylor from 666 Park Avenue, even though it's canceled now. Sarah Carter from Falling Skies, Michelle Farrelly from Game of Thrones, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, and Katie Cassidy from Arrow. And what should we call this? We've got the Oscars, we've got the Grammys. What should we call the because these are actually going to be actual awards. We're not just doing this just for fun. They're actually going to get real trophies. Especially the Lifetime and the Geek Icons, they're going to get real trophies. But so we should have a clever name for them. We'll think of that later.
Yeah, we'll come up with it.
The Rachel Award.
No.
But here you go. Who won Best Actress?
All right. Winner is Bitsy Tulloch, plays Juliet Silverton on Grimm.
Yes, and you guys got to agree with that one because, and even if you don't, again, send us an email. But if you got to agree with that one, those of you who really watch Grimm, according to the ratings, it's a lot of you. She really made honestly, the Juliet character, as you all know, wasn't really doing much. It didn't really matter if she was killed off or not because she wasn't doing anything. This year, she really is, and then going into next year, of course. So, congratulations to her on that. Now, we all like TV, all the TV shows out there, but there is only one that can really make us geek out. These are our choices for the biggest TV geek out in 2012. Fringe, the final season. AMC's The Walking Dead. Grimm, Once Upon a Time. 666 Park Avenue, as much as we complain about it. Game of Thrones. Falling Skies. Arrow. And The Neighbors. That actually got more than one vote for me. The one I'm actually surprised also we talk about a lot is Revolution. No, as much as we talk about it, nobody nominated Revolution. So I guess we just like beating them up because he's
next year we will. Don't worry.
If it's still around, that is. So here's the hold on. Here's the winner. Who is it?
Winner for the biggest TV geek out for 2012 is AMC's The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you gotta do like me. AMC's The Walking Dead. So
I don't think I can go that low.
I mean, really, was there any shock? Graham was pretty good.
No, they knew.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a show that whose episodes keep getting even better. I mean, it was kind of hard to top The Killer Within, but they've gotten better since, and now we're, like I said, we're reaching the mid-season break. You really don't want to catch up over the Christmas break, Rachel?
I don't know. My arm is getting twisted.
You can watch it here in the studio. We'll leave the lights on and everything. We'll be here, and we'll. Is it still no?
I'll have my lightsaber in case I get scared.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So there you go. Yeah, remember, just go for the head. Those are the nominees and the winners for our TV shows. Let's take another break. When we come back, we will award 2 special awards. The ones actually that caused the most arguments around here. And those are, well, you'll see what those are when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
The Geek Speak Show will be back in a moment. Hey, Gam, what's going on? Sign up for the Geek Speak Show newsletter. It's coming in 2013. You can get all the info on upcoming guests and special events. You can be the first to learn about show giveaways and other exclusive content for subscribers only. Or you can win some of our extra swag that we have, like Avengers posters, the Amazing Spider-Man posters, we got the Prometheus 3D posters, and the Wayland Industries Company ID card. Those are pretty cool. Plus some other things that we have. We're cleaning out our prize closet, so you reap the rewards, but only if you sign up for the Geek Speak Show newsletter. And you can do that on our homepage at thegeekspeakshow.com.
This is Mark Zickery, writer, producer, and director of Space Command, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And Space Command Episode 1 is in production as we speak. And look for our very own Rachel, who's going to have, according to Mark, a fiery, explosive death.
Yes, we need to contact him about that because it definitely needs to happen.
Yes, remember he did say on air that he if we go down to the set in L.A., they will blow us up. Not literally, but you know, in the movie.
The cool way.
Although what a way to go if you get blown up on the set of a Space Command movie.
Hey, I could come back as like a half cyborg.
You can be. Well, I don't know if they have the Force there in Space Command. They have to have something. I was gonna say you can become one with the Force and then guide whoever the main characters are.
Yeah, as a hologram. This is a great idea.
Why do we call this show the Geek Speak Show? That's why. So the 2012 Year-End Geek Awards is going on now. Before we go to the fun stuff, the movies, let us go to, like I said, this is the one that caused the most lightsaber battles, the most arguments, the most throwing the pizzas around the studios here. Everybody was pretty much in agreement with the movies, with the TV shows, comic books, all that stuff. These 2 are the ones that not everybody agreed with, and I'm sure they're not going to agree with once we announce the winners. We're going to start, first of all, with the Lifetime Achievement Award. That one should be pretty self-explanatory. It's just somebody, and they're not dead. They're still alive. The people that we nominated, they're still alive for now. And a lot of them, some finished careers, some sort of still have a career, but because of the body of work, they've become not icons, because that's something else entirely. We'll do that.
Legends.
Yes, they are.
Legends.
They made us what we are, and
correct.
The obvious are George Lucas, Steven Spielberg. They made us what we are. They believe it or not, they developed our language. When we say "May the Force be with you," guess where that came from?
Exactly.
When we say "I have a bad feeling about this," where did that come from? When something happens at work and we say you're going to need a bigger pen or pencil sharpener, we know where that came from. Who made that? So, Lifetime Achievement Award. These are the nominees that we came up with, and again, no lightsaber battles. It is what it is. So the nominees are the man, not Nick Fury, Stan Lee, George Lucas, the Shat, William Shatner, and now we know him as Belly, but all the rest of you know him as Spock. Leonard Nimoy. Again, it's kind of obvious who nominated Mr. Lucas.
Hey, it's got to be put in there, okay? Let's be real.
And I got to say, I got to be honest with you. You guys weren't part of my tabulating your votes, but I got to say I cheated a little because I put in 2 votes. I put in Stan Lee and George Lucas also. Well, only because George Lucas officially finally retired. He's done. And now, like I said, he's not dead, but you can't say that, the lifetime, what he's achieved is all of this. We can put him up there as the Godfather.
Yes, we can.
Because not only you and I, but the filmmakers that he made into filmmakers, just by sitting there in the theater at 4 years old, 5 years old, like me, watching that Star Destroyer come over us, that's quite an achievement, doing that.
And that's what this award is about too. We chose people and even the winner that have made generations and generations of people who they are today, the geeks that they are. So let's find out who won.
Having said that, let's find out. The winner of the Geek Speak Show's 2012 Lifetime Achievement Award is
Mr. Stan Lee.
The Man. He legally changed his name to The Man. Or you Twitter followers, you know him as your Generalissimo. But it's Stan The Man Lee. He won the Lifetime Achievement Award. It's pretty hard. Like I said, I kind of cheated a little bit. I did want to give it to George Lucas. But I'll let you guys in on a little. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Rachel knows what I was talking about. But then if Mr. Lucas's people here, they may be onto us and may not say, yeah, they had it all planned. So we will talk about that when we get to that later. But Stan Lee, comic books have been around for quite a while. Even before Stan Lee, they were around. But what Stan Lee did with the comic book industry, although he didn't really have anything to do with it, although he always says in his interviews, the reason you go to see these Marvel movies is for my cameo, of course. So
of course.
That's all he had. The Avengers was his cameo. But I see the Avengers as a culmination of what Stan Lee did, not by creating the characters, but what he did with the comic book industry. He told people, hey, look, these aren't just for kids who, because that's what they thought back then, the kids who can't read, kids who are dumb, and all they do is read these dumb comic books. He made it into an American art form. And even now, when comic books are, again, hot commodities because of the movies, because Spider-Man, the Avengers, the Batmans, all that stuff. Stan Lee has his Power Entertainment, and he's doing the same. He's still innovating, creating brand new characters, not reimagining Spider-Man or any of the characters that he has. He's creating brand new characters for generations to come. That's why I decided to go with Mr. Lee. You have something to say, don't you?
No. I'm actually really glad that he did get it, because that would be the only other person that I would have settled for, of course. And I do think that at this point, especially after this year, which was a huge year for him, I think that he deserves the award. So congratulations, Mr. Lee.
And he would say, actually, I do have him. He's gonna accept his award for the Geek Speak Show Lifetime Achievement Award. So not only is he going to accept his award, but he's also has, we jokingly, I talk about it all the time here. December 21st is coming up in a few weeks. Everybody knows what supposedly is going to happen on December 21st. Either we'll be, actually living The Walking Dead, or nothing will happen. Life goes on as always. But Stan the Man, as always, is here with a hopeful message for 2012 and 13 and maybe beyond. Here he is, the Lifetime Achievement winner, Stan the Man Lee.
A lot of you have told me that the Mayan calendar said the world is going to end this year. Now, a thing like that can disturb someone, even a guy like me. So I thought I'd look into that. We took an expedition to the Guatemalan rainforest because I had to see that calendar myself. I and my entire staff of calendar experts have been checking the Mayan calendar, and we find that a slight mistake has been made. And we've come up with something that I call a Stanlander. It shows we'll be safe for 5 billion years. So now that worry is off our minds, let me close by saying Excelsior. Of course, I didn't warn them about the possibility of Galactus showing up, but why worry them needlessly?
Yeah, there's always that, but then we have the Avengers for that. So there you go, Stanley, giving you a message of hope for 2012 and beyond. And again, our winner for the Lifetime Achievement Award, well-deserved, Stan the Man Lee. Now, This is the other one that also caused a few arguments, and that is the 2012 Geek Icon Award. And that this one, like I said, Spielberg, George Lucas, they can easily fall into that category. They are icons for us. So is someone like J.J. Guillermo del Toro. Even Christopher Nolan could fall into that category. But the way we define it here on the Geek Speak Show, the way I define Geek Icon is for that year, this case being 2012, it's the one person who really contributed a lot to geek culture, making it not mainstream, but just even more accepted than it already is. Now, here also, kind of like we joked about the award show when we first talked about it, you can almost not even bother and just give it all to Joss Whedon now, because 1.5 billion people who've never picked up a comic book went to see the Avengers more than once. It wasn't just us going, although it probably was going to see it over and over, but people who never even who didn't know these characters, they went to the movie theater.
That are now defining themselves as geek, even, which is a big step.
Yeah, see, and again, that would have made it obvious to just give it to Joss Whedon now, but that's not who I gave it to, because I teased a little bit in the beginning of the show. There is one person who, all the things that he's done, when you talk about geek, about nerd, I think I just gave it away. When you talk about that kind of stuff, there's only one name that comes up. You guys hear him on the show all the time. Not as a guest. He's been on as a guest, but you hear him all the time when we come back from commercials or the features that we do. So the winner, obviously now, the winner of the 2012 Geek Icon Award is the Nerdist, Chris Hardwick. Because all the things that he did this year really made people, even people that, like I said, have nothing to do with geek or anything, the business people took notice of what he did. Went from literally just sitting on their couch like most of us do, watching Blu-rays or watching TV or whatever, to being one of the top money makers in business. Not just nerd business, it just happens to be that, but just a really, really successful business guy. Some of the accomplishments that he did this year alone, although besides everything else, but just this year alone, he's the host of Talking Dead. We know that. He hosts the Nerdist podcast, one of the most popular ones on iTunes and everything else. And he had one of the best interviews with Tom Hanks. And yes, we're going to talk, and we'll get Tom Hanks also. And also, one of the interviews that people really, really like, myself included, it had nothing to do with geek or nerd or anything, but it was just really, really touching. The interview that he did with Billy Hardwick, his dad, that was, if that podcast didn't make you call your dad on Father's Day, check your heart. You might be a walker, or you just don't care about your dad, because that's one of the most heartfelt, most touching interviews that podcast anybody has ever heard, and it's real. That's Chris. I've been lucky enough to meet him a couple times. I know Chris, and what you guys hear on the podcast, that's Chris Hardwick. He's not fake. It's not an act. He's not reading off a teleprompter. He actually knows this stuff. He watched Star Wars. He watched Star Trek. He all this stuff. The other thing he did, big thing, we talked about it a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why he came on the show earlier after WonderCon. He introduced his YouTube channel, the Nerdist YouTube channel. The reason why he did that is because you guys remember him from TV. He was host on MTV stuff. He was on Attack of the Show on G4, and these little kind of geek dating shows, things like that. You guys remember from that, but he decided, you know what? Because he's like me. He's a radio guy also. He used to be on K-Rock in LA. He's had enough of that, kind of like I did. So he said, you know what? We always complain about, my bosses don't know what they're doing, or I know how to do it better. Well, let's put your money where your mouth is. And he did. And he's programming his own, not TV channel, but a YouTube channel, which is, honestly, I got to say, and it's not a biased opinion, it is, the programming on there is a lot better than what you do get on, for example, a G4, which is gone now. But it is a lot better than stuff like that. And not only that, but he got people that you would never think you could get on network television to do that. He's got a puppet show with Neil Patrick Harris. He's got Weird Al Yankovic inserting himself into serious interviews. He's got all 4 Points is another one that I really like watching. And of course, All-Star Bowling, All-Star Celebrity Bowling with Chris Hardwick is one of the most popular shows on there. You'll like this one. I'm shocked actually that you weren't a part of it. This year, leading up to San Diego Comic-Con, he did Course of the Force. You could have gone there as either in your Django outfit or the Padme or anything you wanted with a lightsaber. And do you know what it was, first of all, Rachel?
I've seen a couple of the episodes. I am definitely going to try to be on for sure.
Yeah, but that was his idea. He came up with a team that was then still Lucasfilm and some other people, and it was a huge success. And it was just having fun, but it was for charity, and it was all fun. But it made headlines everywhere. He did that. And the biggest thing he did was he sold half of the Nerdist Industries to Legendary Entertainment. The Legendary is a little movie studio that's done little movies like The Dark Knight, Batman, 300, little movies like that. Nothing major. But he sold half of it to them, which, and you know, everybody knows now, that doesn't mean anything except when they want to do something Star Wars, now they actually have the budget to create a real lightsaber. Now they have the budget to, you know, have some special effects stuff on it. And also they named him the co-president of Legendary's digital business division, which makes sense because, you know, there's nobody better, no online icon other than Chris Hardwick. So that's that, and there's a lot of more reasons, but that's one of the reasons why I gave him the Geek Icon Award. And I got to add this one personally. Again, knowing the guy, he's just a nice guy. He really is, really humble, and it hasn't gone to his head. And like I said, the way you see him in the interviews. Matter of fact, you guys want to see one with Chris and I. It was earlier this year at the first Image Expo. It was you guys see us sitting in like a restaurant. It was a restaurant. It was closed, and we just sat there and we just started talking. And after a while, we said, "Hey, you know what? We should record this." So we did. We just started talking. But that's the real Chris. So that's why I picked him as the 2012 Geek Icon. You agree? You disagree?
I do agree. To all the points that you made, the icon's got to be somebody that influences the culture. And Chris Hardwick, definitely all the stuff that you just mentioned, he is on the way to helping make geek culture the ultimate power in the universe.
And not in the fake way, like I said. That's the most important thing. I mean, these radio stations, TV network stations, they try to jump on our geek trend, the geek culture thing, because face it, we're taking over. It's our world. You guys are just dancing in it. But they try to put in people, you know, the hey, good morning, everybody kind of DJs. They try to have them do what we do. They can't because.
And then you get the blank stares. Yeah,
because it never grows like I do with you. When they can, you know, they can read off a teleprompter. So Han Solo was the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. So you can tell them no, he actually piloted a YT-1300 with some modifications that he made himself. They'll look at you like, yes, well, that's all the time we have today. But Chris, he's the real thing. He can throw out these references. He understands these references. He is one of us, and he is the 2012 Geek Icon. So those, like I said, those are the two categories that actually caused the most arguments here. Friendly arguments. You know, the only one that got a little violent, surprisingly, was the Jedi over there. She pulled out her lightsaber. It wasn't even red. Let's take a break again, and when we come back, we'll get to the fun stuff. The final categories are everything that we really enjoy doing, especially in the summer, in a dark room with lots of strangers. Sounds dirty, but it's not. You'll find out exactly what that is when we come back.
The Geek Speak Show will be back in a moment. Hey, gang, what's going on? Sign up for the Geek Speak Show newsletter. It's coming in 2013. You can get all the info on upcoming guests and special events. You can be the first to learn about show giveaways and other exclusive content for subscribers only. Or you can win some of our extra swag that we have, like Avengers posters, the Amazing Spider-Man posters. We got the Prometheus 3D posters and the Wayland Industries Company ID card. Those are pretty cool. Plus some other things that we have. We're cleaning out our prize closet. So you reap the rewards, but only if you sign up for the Geek Speak Show newsletter. And you can do that on our homepage at thegeekspeakshow.com.
I'm Zach, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
Hold on a second. Once more, with flavor.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Zach Whedon, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
It's compelling! What's gonna happen to these kids? Yes. I agree.
Whedon's had a kind of big year, huh?
Just a little one.
So we're back on the 2012 Year-End Geek Awards, almost done. Final category, the fun category. Not that the other ones weren't, but the really fun one. Something that, like I said, we like to do in dark rooms in the summer where it's sweaty outside, but you can go into it. It's nice and cool, air conditioned. You turn down the lights, and you have the same experience, if you're lucky, at the same time. That's the summer movie season. What were you thinking? Come on.
Oh, you creepers.
You think about your moms with those minds? But it's the summer movie season, our favorite time of the year besides Halloween, of course. And all of them were good. This I gotta say, this was a really good movie year. But
yeah,
like always, and because it's an award show, you do have to pick just one. Now, like you said, it's almost obvious, a given who it's gonna go to. We might as well not even have this show or these categories even.
However, you might be surprised at some of these.
You might remember Jay said, no, it should go to somebody else. So we'll see who it went to. But we're going to do something a little different here. Most shows, they leave the best for last. We're going to do the same thing. No, but we are going to do different is we're actually going to award not the bombs, not the worst movies, but the way Rachel put it, the what the bleep movies. Which you literally say that. I mean, you don't bleep yourself, but you say that in the middle of the theater when you actually go there on a midnight screen and you're going, I could have been at home playing PlayStation or reading a book or something. What the hell am I doing in here? So those are the kind of movies that just make you say, wait, what? Why am I in here? Now, we came up with those, and here are the nominees for, we're calling it the WTF Award.
The 2012 What the movie nominees are...
A king has his reign. And then he dies.
Prometheus, are you seeing this?
Big things have small beginnings.
Prometheus.
Perseus, I need your help.
This is for gods, not humans.
You will learn someday that being half human makes you stronger than a god.
Wrath of the Titans.
Warning red. Weapons tight.
Battleship.
Mr. Burroughs, I'm afraid I bring sad tidings.
Your uncle's passing came as a shock to all of us.
Our world is dying. Fate has brought you here, John Carter. You may be the only one who can save us.
John Carter.
This thing. There's no conscience. Just hunger. The rider's going to come out. And when he does, he'll destroy whoever's got it coming.
Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Alice, how nice to see you again.
What the hell is going on here?
We have you under all control.
They used me to perfect the virus. Everyone I've ever known. Everything I've ever done is being used against me. Now they can manipulate the world.
We've taken over New York, Moscow, Tokyo. This is humanity's last stand. The beginning of the end.
I'm gonna kill you.
Good luck.
Resident Evil Retribution.
I don't know what it is, but I've just been hearing a lot of noises. And like all this weird stuff has been happening since the new neighbors moved in.
Lights go off all the time, honey.
It's happening again. The motion lights have been turning on and off every night.
Yeah, right.
I bet you it's gonna be that weird kid from across the street. Watch. Yeah, can you see him?
What the hell?
He's so creepy.
What is he doing?
Freaky, right?
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity 4. The 2012 What the movie nominees.
I thought that was a look into Joel's neighbor's house there. But those are the nominees for What the Bleep Awards. Like, again, not the worst, but it's up there.
But the ones that made you go, what? Yeah.
And like I said, Resident Evil and Paranormal Activity 4, those I put in there not because they were bad, it's just because it's a franchise. These two installments took the story nowhere. It's just like, okay, why even bother? So that's why they're in there. So, like I said, there has to be a, I guess, winner for this category.
Winner?
So here's who it is. Hold on. Wait, you have the envelope, I think. So go ahead and rip it.
Okay.
Rip it good. And the winner is
Prometheus.
Yeah. I mentioned on the show when it came out, this is, and that means Inception backwards. Inception, the reason why people went to see it over and over and over was because of word of mouth, and they had to go see this crazy ending in this Christopher Nolan movie. This one was the opposite of Inception. It was, you had to go see it just to see how bad the writing was. Sorry, Damon, how bad the writing was. Because through the whole thing, it's not the ending. It's just the fact that there's a lot of things that are just. I think Damon thought, and we're probably never gonna get him on the show, but he's a good sport. He can take it. Damon probably thought he was writing another episode of Lost, because there's a lot of things that are just thrown out there and then just forgotten, and you're like, wait, what about this and what about this? It's just too many questions. Then the biggest of all. Is it an Alien prequel? Is it set in the same universe as Alien? Oh no, it has nothing to do with Alien. But then why do we have a xenomorph, spoiler alert, at the very end of the thing? It's just all over the place. And the reason why we give it to this one is it's also one of the most anticipated things is Sir Ridley Scott's return to sci-fi, finally, after almost 30 years. But we got Prometheus instead. But we still went to see it, and it's going to get a sequel because we gave him enough money to make a sequel. So that's who the award goes to. You agree with that one, or we would have given it to somebody else?
Well, I mean, everybody's got their votes, but I did go to the theater, and then at the end of that movie went, huh? So, I had that moment as well.
Yeah, you weren't alone. This next one, I don't have a little produced thing for it, but this next one I'm calling the Blockhead Award. And those of you who know, who are in the know, it's like me, fans of Attack the Block, the movie that came out last year in limited release, but it's gotten a huge cult following in the UK and in here. This is the movie that just came, you really didn't expect too much out of, but it was surprisingly good. The nominees for this one. Do you have the nominees, or I have the nominees? Of course.
You have them, yes.
So, for that one, the Blockhead Award, the surprise hit, we'll call it, but the nominees are Chronicle. Remember that one way back in early in the year? Snow White and the Huntsman. I think you like that one because of who's in it. Cabin in the Woods, same thing. And Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. And here, I'll let you read who the winner is. Hold on, let me get the envelope. Here you go. Who is it?
All right. The winner for the Blockhead Award is Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, because the other ones are pretty good, but that Abraham Lincoln Vampire, even when the first teaser and the trailer started coming out, that one could have so easily turned into just
a WTF movie.
Lambeau Field, just the cheese factor. But it wasn't. It was surprising. I mean, Luis Ducre, who does our Geek Movie Rewind, we both really, really loved it. I went in there not expecting anything. I was expecting, okay, this is going to get done really quick. But it didn't. It just got better, and then even better. And so I liked it and said, yeah, this definitely gets it. Chronicle was pretty good. I like the fact that, people get superpowers, and in today's, now that I join you, Rachel, I have these fancy phones. Everybody's got a camera on it. So why wouldn't you capture people flying or whatever your superpowers are? I like that one, but it wasn't a big surprise because superhero stuff, anything superpowered superhero, it's gonna do good anyway. Snow White and the Huntsman, that one actually was surprisingly good. That was another one that could have, like Abraham Lincoln, could have easily turned into what? What do you call it? Cabin in the Woods. Finally, that we got it. It's been held back for a while, but we finally got it. That one I liked also, but because, like I was telling Rachel, it's got a little bit of everything in there. It starts off as a horror film, kind of reminds me of Friday the 13th a little bit. But then it turns into something else completely different. Those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to spoil anything because you have to experience this one fresh. So there you go. Those are the Blockhead Award. That's who wins that one. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Now, where should we go to next? We have this is the fun one, like I said. Before we get to the fun ones, the best picture and all that. This one was kind of not too argumentative. Some of you agree. It was actually split pretty much right down the middle, and that was the best ending to a franchise or a series. I wasn't going to put it in there, but because of what happened literally hours before Halloween, I had to include that one. And that was George Lucas retiring, selling to Disney. And, it's not the end of anything except his vision of what Star Wars was going to be. It's in somebody else's hands now. So I put that one in there. I put in the Avengers because it's not the end of anything except, the end of Marvel movie universe phase 1. It started way back with Iron Man. Now it ended with this one. And they also put in The Dark Knight Rises because it's the end of the Nolan verse, and also the Dark Knight trilogy. For that one, I know who you wanted to give it to. Like I said, and this one I almost cheated, and just because I'm the executive producer, I was gonna go ahead and cheat and give it to somebody you and I both like. But I went ahead and gave it to the Avengers because with Star Wars, it's the end of George Lucas's reign as Star Wars. Although honestly, you and I can agree on this. No matter what Disney does with it, Star Wars will always be George Lucas, no matter what anybody says. But we really don't know what's going to happen with Star Wars yet. We don't know what Disney's going to do with it. Is it going to be worse than the special editions, or even better, what we've always wanted? The Dark Knight trilogy. I always say Nolan I trust, and I do, and it was a good movie, but I still had questions at the end. All of us, spoiler alert, who haven't seen it, it should be out on Blu-ray by the time you listen to this. Now who Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was the whole time, and you know what happens at the very end, the very final scene of The Dark Knight Rises. That is a very Inception-like ending. You can't walk away. And with Inception, it worked perfectly. With The Dark Knight, if it's the end of a trilogy, you can't leave it with, wait, so is he the new Batman? Is he Robin? What happens? Because you may never get the answer now, and you can't leave this kind of movie like that. What, Rachel?
I liked it. I don't care. That was my vote, so just so you all know. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, shockingly there, it wasn't Mr. Lucas. But I had to give it to, and all of you agreed, we had to give it to the Avengers because this one can tie in actually to Star Wars because you, Rachel, myself, and everybody else listening, Star Wars is one of our most beloved movie franchise. Not the books, the comics, but the movies itself. All 6 of those movies. Those are like our favorite teddy bear, our favorite toy, whatever, our favorite jacket, whatever it is. That one you don't mess. Even if it doesn't fit us anymore, you still don't touch it. You still leave it hanging up on your closet because it's got a lot of memories there behind it. Right. It made you who you are. With Marvel, I've said it before on the air. It's the same thing with me. I grew up reading Spider-Man, all the Marvel comics, and in the summer I used to get. It's a theme here. I used to get a pizza and sit down in the backyard and read the further adventures of Spider-Man and X-Men and all that. And when Disney took it over, I was kind of like the way you Star Wars fans now reacted to Disney taking it over. Oh, they're going to Disneyfy it, which honestly I really don't know what that means. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, I can explain because the fear is, like on Facebook, there's been a ton of these pictures where you take a Star Wars icon, like say the Tatooine Suns, and you make them into Mickey Mouse ears. You just don't do that.
There's no Mickey heads anywhere in Iron Man or Thor or Captain America.
And this gives us hope.
Yes, a new hope. But you know that line had to be in there somewhere. But seriously, that is why I'm not worried about Star Wars being in Disney's hands, because they were very hands off during the whole Marvel movie phase 1. They let, like I said, they let Kevin Feige go ahead and do everything, and he handpicked Favreau, and look, you know what he did with Iron Man. He handpicked Joe Johnston, and we know what he did with Captain America, and Kenneth Branagh with Thor, and then when they all came together, they handpicked some guy named Joss Whedon and set him free, and look what we got. So that's why I picked the Avengers as the perfect ending to not a franchise, but the perfect ending to Phase 1. Phase 2 begins next year with Iron Man 3, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2015. I think Jay mentioned that the last time we did a new show. It is going to be a big geek year as far as movies goes, because we're going to have Star Wars, first of all, Episode 7. That's something that I never thought I'd be saying in my lifetime, that we're going to have
seriously
the further adventures of Luke, Han, and everybody. And so that's why I had to give it to that one. And so moving on, let's do the actors. And again, we are making a distinction here on the Geek Speak Show, the actor, actresses. This is the actor, male, man, guy, dude. Hey, you. That guy who, not that guy, but the guy is the best actors in the geek films this year. The nominees. You'll like this one. Chris Hemsworth, The Huntsman, Snow White and the Huntsman. Mark Ruffalo, The Avengers, and the villain. Tom Hiddleston for The Avengers. Andrew Garfield as the new Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, maybe the new Batman, in The Dark Knight Rises. The winner.
Oh, man.
Is not Chris Hemsworth. No, the winner is... Let's find out. Who is it?
Okay, all right. The winner for Best Actor is Tom Hiddleston for The Avengers. All right. I totally get that. He's hilarious.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's a cheat or what it is, but when we were doing this, when I was tabulating you guys' votes, I watched The Avengers a couple times again, and watching him and just convinced me, you know what? Honestly, it was either between either Mark Ruffalo or Tom Hiddleston, because Mark Ruffalo has to be the perfect Bruce Banner.
Yeah, he did such a good job. I agree.
Now, I don't remember which one of you guys, two of you did it, because nominated him. Andrew Garfield really was the perfect Peter Parker?
Yeah, I don't know who did that.
Yeah, well, you guys know how I feel about that. Enough, to quote Stan Lee, enough said on that one. Now, the best actress, which I can't find now, I'll put it here somewhere. That's TV. The best actress is somewhere. Do you have that one, Rachel?
I do not. You just gave me envelopes.
Oh, I have it right here in front of me. That's why I couldn't see it. Best actress: Anne Hathaway, The Dark Knight Rises; Emma Stone for The Amazing Spider-Man; Kristen Connolly in The Cabin in the Woods; and Jennifer Lawrence, The Hunger Games. The winner.
Ooh, there's going to be some angry people over this one. I can already tell.
And still champion.
Either way.
Is.
All right, winner for Best Actress: Anne Hathaway, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Yes. You agree with that one or no?
I do agree with that one, actually. That one was one of my votes. And going into that, when we were like, okay, it's Catwoman, got it. And we have all these different versions of Catwoman in our head. Everybody has the one that they like, you know what I mean? But out of everybody I talked to, they all liked what she did with it. So I thought that was pretty impressive. Hard thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, I thought what we saw in the trailers, there wasn't much of it. And first of all, people didn't like the costume. To me, I didn't have a problem with the costume, quite honestly. But she didn't go over the top, and she wasn't not even necessary. She was just perfect. That's why, we'll give it to this one. Definitely. Jennifer Lawrence, as you guys know, she's got a couple more tries to get it as Katniss. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, the last two nominations are the two big ones. We'll start with it. It's a trend. It's you can almost call it a stereotype, but most of us geeks and nerds like Chris, we wear this. We wear glasses. Rachel wears glasses. I've seen her wearing glasses sometimes. I do. I can't see Rachel. Jay wears them. Joel wears them. Although he wears the cool guy glasses, but he wears them. Some guy named George Lucas, he wears them. Steven Spielberg, glasses. JJ, well, enough said. So Christopher Nolan, I've seen with glasses also. Now, even when every now and then, even when they take those glasses off, they still manage to have 20/20 vision. Geek vision, we'll call it. That means because they have such a perfect vision of what their movie is going to be, what the story is going to be, what the characters to be. They all meld together and make that perfect combination of 2020 Geek Vision. They put it up on those screens for us to love and enjoy and geek out over time and time again. This year, again, this one is almost a given who it should go to, but there were a few others that got the nomination for the 2020 Geek Vision, and here they are.
Check this out.
The nominees for the 2020 Geek Vision Award are Joss Whedon for The Avengers, Christopher Nolan for The Dark Knight Rises, Mark Webb for The Amazing Spider-Man, Josh Trank for Chronicle, Tamir Bekmambetov for Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
And out of all those names, again, it's almost a given who it should go to, but let's find out if it did. Let me open up the envelope.
The suspense on this one's killing me because I might be angry.
You
all right, let me have it. Let me have it.
Okay, who is it?
All right. The winner for 2020 Geek Vision is, yes, Joss Whedon for The Avengers.
Gee, is anybody shocked? See, well, actually, I kind of am. And you regulars, you should be, because, I always say Nolan I trust. And like I said, Dark Knight Rises was a good movie. You just said it just a few minutes ago. It was a good movie,
yes.
But The Avengers was a perfect movie. And again, when I was doing this, I wasn't watching The Avengers, but I went back to a conversation I had with a friend of mine who lives in Chicago, and he's still a friend, even though he's a Bears fan. But we had a conversation. He had just gone to see The Avengers, and he called me and he said, "What did you think of The Avengers?" Well, I'm interested to see what you didn't like. And I said, you know what? Honestly, this is the first movie that I can walk out of there and say, I have no complaints. None whatsoever. Everything is perfect from the beginning of the movie all the way to the end. Even the after credit scenes, both of them, they're perfect. So
and everybody on this show has different tastes, and we all have, our loyalties in one line or another, and we like different things. And even our friends all have different tastes and like different things.
But I can't tell what yours are.
Hey. But when we all can come together and agree time after time on one thing, that totally is the Geek Vision. And so, of course, that's why Joss got that one.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's perfect. You guys have to agree. There's nothing wrong with The Avengers. Nothing. So that one was a given. Now, the Geek Vision, I mean, we kind of give it away with who it is. But, again, it is an award show. We do have to nominate a few. So these are our nominees for the biggest geek out, the film geek out, the best movie, the one that really made us...
Takes the cake.
Yes. Here they are for 2012, the biggest geek out film nominees.
The nominees for the biggest film geek out are...
I said that.
You threatened my world with war. You might not be glad that you did.
What have I to fear?
The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Sort of like a team. Earth's mightiest heroes type thing. Let's do a head count. A couple of master assassins. The demigod. A super soldier. And you've managed to piss off every single one of us.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
The Avengers.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely. A legend, Mr. Wayne. A legend.
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet.
The Dark Knight Rises.
This is the Cloud Atlas Sextet?
I doubt there's more than a handful of copies in all of North America.
But I know it. I know it.
That's it. The music from my dream. At home.
I can't explain it, but I knew when I opened that door.
A powerful deja vu ran through my bones. I heard it in a dream. I was in a nightmarish cafe, and the waitresses, they all had the same face.
Cloud Atlas.
Welcome. The time has come to
to select one courageous young man and woman for the honor of representing District 12 in the 74th Annual Hunger Games.
It's your first year, Prim. Your name's only been in there once. They're not gonna pick you.
Primrose Everdeen.
Prim! I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute.
Our tributes, Peter Malark and Katniss Everdeen.
They just want a good show. That's all they want.
There's 24 of us, Gail. Only one comes out. The Hunger Games.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Parker.
Not much to tell, really.
Peter lives with his aunt and uncle.
Did you catch that spider guy yet?
No, but we will. This guy wears a mask like an outlaw.
I think he's trying to do something maybe the police can't.
Can't?
You know, if you're gonna steal cars, don't dress like a car thief.
You a cop?
You seriously think I'm a cop in a skin tie red and blue suit?
Who are you? 38 of New York's finest versus one guy in a unitard. Whoa!
If you want the truth, Peter, come and get it.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
I like visitors as much as the next hobbit. But I do like to know them before they come. Visiting.
Mr. Baggins?
At your service. I'm surrounded by dwarves. What are they doing here?
Oh, they're quite a merry gathering. So, this is the Hobbit.
You asked me to find the 14th member of this company, and I have chosen Mr. Baggins.
Me? No.
Hobbits can pass unseen by most if they choose, which gives us a distinct advantage.
We will seize this chance to take back Erebor!
Here, Mr. Bilbo! Where are you off to? I'm going on an adventure!
Home is now behind you. The world is ahead.
The Hobbit and Unexpected Journey. The nominees for the biggest film geek out.
And I can't believe that we just got a write-in winner at the end because of
I know
Neo for a video game guy.
You love a movie when you listen to a part of a trailer like that and you just can't help but smile the whole time.
But that's not the winner. The write-in winner for the biggest geek out, John Carter.
How about let's open the envelope and then we'll decide.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And just for reference, I was talking about all the trailers, just so you know.
And I can't believe some of you guys actually took me seriously. Yeah, John Carter won. Really? But anyway, here it is.
Psych.
It is.
All right.
Let's shock
the winner.
everybody.
Oh yes. Let's shock everybody. All right, you guys ready? You better sit down for this. The winner for the biggest film geek out is Marvel's The Avengers, of course.
Gee, I'm shocked. And again, we kind of give it away with the Geek Vision Award. And again, same reasons. This movie was just perfect. There were no questions, though. Even David Lee, that should tell you everything. Even David Lee loved everything about it. He had nothing to complain about, so that should tell you everything. So those are the nominees. Those are the winners in comic books, TVs, and again, all of you guys, honestly, in our eyes, really are winners. You guys make our show what it is, and keep on doing what you're doing. And probably next year when we do it again, you will be winners also. Now, a couple of things before we get out of here for the year until next year. We gave away the 2012 autographed Yaya Han cosplay calendars for a couple of, I announced you in last week's Best of show, but we're still giving away stuff. I still have a stack of things out there. I've mentioned it many times. I'll let you talk about it. Rachel, you got one. I got one. The Star Wars pop-up books by Matthew Reinhardt. I got an extra one, and they said, yeah, go ahead and give it away. Tell them how cool that is.
Oh my gosh. It's not just like a normal pop-up book either. It has like parts like lightsabers that glow, and there's little pocket pages that unfold, and so there's more little creatures and ships and things inside of there. It's like a pop-up book on crack. It's awesome.
I don't think that's how they wanted to describe it, but okay, pop-up book on crack. They should put that in their marketing.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, like I said, they should put that in their marketing. The pop-up book on crack, Matthew Reinhardt. But really, it especially right now, Star Wars is, again, red hot, and it will be just even white hot by the time 2015 rolls around. So anything Star Wars that you don't have, add this one to your collection. We also have some posters that we got from Comic-Con, from WonderCon, Image Expo. We got some comic books left over from Free Comic Book Day and from Halloween comic. What was it called? The Halloween thing that they did. We got some of those left over. We got some props that I got from the movies, not the actual ones, but the marketing ones they gave out at Comic-Con. We got a bunch of stuff that we don't need because we have ours here on the wall. But you guys can have them if you sign up for the newsletter. Just scroll down from where you listen to the award show now. Put your email in there, and that's where you will get it. What else? Will we turn January 9th? New things that are coming is the video show is going to be more of a regular thing, so you guys actually get to see Rachel the way I see her every day. You also are going to do the show will come back. The newsletter will tell you who's going to be on it, who's not going to be on it. What else? New voices? Probably not. I mean, Rachel's fine. I'm fine.
We're all fine here, sir.
We'll get some more commentating about comics from Jay and everything else. The book clubs will continue. All that stuff will still be going on. Again, we're going to come back January 16th. We'll be back then. We'll do a little rewind show, 2012 rewind, go back to all the good stuff that happened, including the Comic-Con, the WonderCon coverage, and the Image Expo. You'll hear from Chris and Stan Lee and all the winners that we had on here. You'll hear them again, except that we forgot one award.
We did?
We did the worst. We did the best. Now, it's not really an award. It's just kind of a geek out for us here on the show. I asked you guys, what is your most anticipated film for next year?
Oh, yeah, we did.
And I was going to take votes on those, but since everybody gave me different ones, I said, you know what? I'm just going to announce what everybody likes. But first of all, let me give you guys a list here. I'll give you a few minutes. Let me wait. Go ahead and get your pen or your pads or whatever you take notes on. Get your ketchup bottles and run in the refrigerator. These are the most anticipated films in 2013. Here's a complete list. The movies that we care about, at least. Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, Star Trek Into Darkness, G.I. Joe Retaliation, finally, Man of Steel, World War Z, Oz, The Great and Powerful, The Evil Dead, After Earth, 300, Rise of an Empire, Elysium, Kick-Ass 2, Pacific Rim, R.I.P.D., The Wolverine. Now this one, Jay and I were talking about this. It's in production. It's supposed to come out next year, but until we're sitting in the theater and actually watching it, I'll believe it, but I'll say it anyway. Ender's Game. This game, is coming for sure. The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. So those are the movies that are coming next year. I asked everybody, what's your most anticipated? Rachel, what's yours?
I remember saying Thor was definitely one because I've been waiting for that since the first one came out. But I don't know. There's a few that I am going to be midnight release for. So I don't know that I have one.
You can say them all because everybody else had more. That's another reason why I just decided to read everybody's, because everybody had more than one. So besides Thor, anything with Chris Hemsworth, besides that, what else are you looking forward to?
All right. Well, okay. So besides Thor 2, then I am definitely looking forward to Star Trek. I know you can't have both, but let's be real. We like it all. So Star Trek for sure. 300, I am a fan. Pacific Rim, I'm actually very intrigued with that. So, and then of course, as you and Jay were talking about, if Ender's Game is out, then that's going to be absolutely amazing. I love The Hunger Games. I love The Hobbit, all of that. So yeah, I guess that's my list.
And best part, no Twilight. So for me, Star Trek Into Darkness is definitely one I'm looking forward to. Joel says he is really looking forward to, let me see if I can do it in the Joel voice, Iron Man 3. Maybe he'll get a special version for Joel where it's just he can look at the pictures. For Jay, Ender's Game. If not, she's definitely looking forward to Star Trek Into Darkness because of Benedict Cumberbatch. Louise, she's looking forward to Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, and she would agree when I say, like you, anything with Chris Hemsworth. And The Hobbit, she's also looking forward to. Mark Arnold, he's looking forward to Star Trek Into Darkness and Oz, The Great and Powerful. From Mightyville, Summer K is looking forward to Thor, The Dark World, and Joe K is looking forward to Man of Steel, the new Superman from Zack Snyder. So those are what we were looking for. So that is it. We'll be turning on January 9th. We'll see you then. Coming back next year. We'll speak more geek then. And that's it. We're done. Goodbye. Oh, Merry Christmas and all that stuff too.
Yes.
Here
Hope
goes.
your holidays are filled with geekness.
See, now go ahead and listen to the music and jump in. Everybody knows the words. Go ahead.
This is the Geek Speak Show.